So the quote for the week is, laughter is the closest distance between two people. And this is Victor Borge saying it. Would you like to start talking about it? I'm already laughing.
Laughing is contagious, right? I love that quote. I love it. It works. And I read something recently that also made sense why it works. Did you know that when we laugh, our body releases endorphins, like feel-good endorphins, and they're the same ones that are also released when we cry. Mm-hmm. So laughing actually helps in so many different instances. So, you know, nobody minds a good laugh, but also when a person is anxious, it also helps. When a person, you know, has big feelings, it kind of takes their body out of that state, like crying. Mm-hmm. with the laughter. So I really, really appreciate this this nugget.
Yeah, I always tell parents that laughing releases as much emotions as crying does, and which one do we prefer? Because it's obvious we prefer laughing, and yet there is a point when laughing is not possible anymore, and then we need to create the space for the crying, for the child and for ourselves too. And what I'm thinking also is, you know, how Stephen Porges says that safety is not about the absence of threat, it's about the presence of connection. And that's where this quote took me. Like, laughter is the closest distance, because it's like with the birds singing. They can only sing when they feel safe. And you can laugh when you feel safe. So it's like that's the ultimate sign of connection. So how can we create more laughing moments in our lives? What do you think?
I think that, you know, what comes to mind is there's two parts to it, right? There is the energy of the home and the laughter that just comes because something funny happened, or someone shared a joke, or you know, reminiscing about a moment or a memory, or something actually happens, like very natural laughter. But I also think of like induced laughter. For us, for my family, what really works is roughhousing games. In the morning, you know, this reminds me, I think a couple of weeks ago, we had a tough morning getting out of the house to school, and to just lighten up the mood, you know, I said, okay, let's get ready fast enough and we'll have a game of hide and seek to the car. It was amazing because it got everyone out of this grumpy, annoyed mood, and it took us into feeling a lot lighter because we were running, we were hiding, we were laughing, and we were able to start the day on a different foot. And I just want to add there that it doesn't mean whatever happened in the morning, whoever upset who, or what happened that didn't work for us as a family was ignored, but it wasn't the time to talk about it. You know, we did have to get to school. There were big feelings involved. So it wouldn't have made sense to talk about it. So it was changing our physiology, changing our demeanor, getting to school, having our day, and then coming back when everybody's more relaxed, and talking about what happened. Mm-hmm. And laughter really helped us get there. And it was induced because it was, you know, intentionally playing a game that could get us, like you said, connected.
Yeah, it's connection, it's presence also. You are fully there. You cannot read something and also talk to your child and laugh. I don't know, it's somehow you are fully present when you laugh. And yeah, where I'm also going with this is how, you know, emotion is meant to move us, to stir something within. And whenever we make our children laugh, we should persevere. Like if we can get a giggle out of them, especially when they are really upset, let's say, or really not in the mood, if we can help them with that, we start shifting something within. Something starts moving, and it's valid for us too. Sometimes if we are too caught up in our story, in our, oh, he did this and he did that, and look how he's doing, and look what she's doing, and we find that window where we can maybe smile a bit, or we can, it totally helps us shift perspective, right? It moves that emotion. It allows it to do its job.
How would you go from a moment where you said like that and then to try to move it around?
It's similar to what you were explaining. It was just that I was also very we were in this fight, my son and I, and he wanted to spit, which I don't really like. And I also understand that sometimes that it's needed, right, to express that emotion somehow. And he tried to spit, and then I was able to stop and to try to imitate him, like, but I was pretend spitting. And he was so, I don't know, maybe shocked or surprised would be the better word, that he just stopped. He started smiling, and then I goofed around with it a bit more, and we completely shifted from this mad spitting, from this fight spitting, to fun, and then to roughhousing, for instance. It's
The flow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do we do that as a parent? I think that's where the power of meditation, or of being present, of being able to catch yourself and to be in the moment, helps a lot.
I absolutely relate to that. And I think there are so many tools and different options to use also when a person isn't able to get creative or to contain themselves when they're feeling triggered or annoyed or irritated. So using the tool of a game, using the tool of, playing tag. There's the sock game that I love. There are a couple of games, I think it's in the book, Opposite of Worry.
Lawrence Cohen.
Yes, because he speaks about, there's a whole chapter on, kind of games that help when a child is worried, and because it releases also the same kind of chemicals like we talked about with laughter. And one is the sock game. So everybody on the bed, or and you try to take off each other's socks. And I was a little, I want to say skeptical before I tried it, but it's a lot of fun. You can't not laugh, And then I remember traditionally thinking that to get someone laugh, you tickle them. But there was something about it that made me feel very uncomfortable, because I don't like being tickled. I don't like being tickled, but I'm laughing and I can't stop. And just yesterday, actually, this happened. And then I said, I was telling one of my kids, I'm like, your brother was tickling me. Why aren't you helping? He's like, you're laughing. I'm like, I can't stop myself laughing, right? So I'm not a fan of tickling. I don't know how you feel about that.
I'm really glad that you bring this up, because I know we both took Dr. Laura Markham's course, and she specifically talks about tickling. And we have this rule, no tickling in our house. Why? Because she explains it. It was very clear for me. Tickling is like, it makes you laugh, but you have no control about it. It completely takes control out of your hands, and that's not the kind of laughing that we want. It does affect the body indeed, and it makes you laugh, but you lose control, and that's not the kind of laughter that we are after. So I'm glad that you brought tickling up, and I'm definitely a no tickling person. And when we understand the dynamic behind it, I think that we can clearly understand why tickling is not to be used with children or with someone else. So just look it up if you need more info. I remember I have an article about it. So no tickling is clearly. I'm glad you brought this up. We want to laugh, but also to be able to keep control with ourselves.
To have authority over our own bodies. Yes, absolutely. But there's so many other options, like dancing.
Yeah. It can even be like, I'm about to tickle you. It can be, sort of a pretend tickling with no touching. And even that brings already the joy and the laughter, but it doesn't take away the control. Or I love that you brought up Dr. Larry Cohen. He has the playful parenting approach, let's say, and he has the playful parenting book. And there's so much explanation on game and on play. It's the same. Laughter moves us, just as crying does. But who doesn't want to choose laughter over crying, right? And he has so many let's say, ideas of how to turn this, let's say, a fight into play, how to bring play into our lives.